State your full name and your date of birth.
Okay.
You haven't forgotten that, have you?
Maybe. Okay. Dana Calais Midori Montgomery, and I was born 11/2/97.
Okay, so that makes you how old?
Well, I just turned 11.
Just turned 11.
Yeah.
And in your 11 years, what has been the best thing that's happened to you in your 11 years so far?
Let's see.
Something fun and exciting or something important to you that's happened? Anything?
Maybe our first win at competition. That meant a lot to me.
Okay. And when was that?
That was I think 2005.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is dance in your life? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I can't live without dance, 1 being I could care less.
I think it's about a 9.5.
About a 9.5.
Because I mean, like, it's not like if without it I would die, but like it's a big part of my life.
Right. It's like food. I mean, if you went without food, you would die, but not without dance.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's real important. And what do you like about it? What one thing about dancing really even makes you like it? Gives you pleasure?
I think the friends I've made, like, whenever I go to dance class, my friends make it even better.
Okay.
That's the best part of it.
Yeah. Anything else about it that really that you like?
I think because it's part of my culture, so it's something that I would want to learn more about.
Name. Your full name.
Yeah, my name is Junius Kapuli Montgomery.
And what is today's date?
Today is November 27th, 2008.
And where are we?
We are at my home, my garage, at 8111 Token Street
Okay.
in Long Beach, California.
Tell me, what's your most fond memory of your mom?
Most fond memory of my mom is that she was a good fisherwoman. She loved to fish. She'd go make limo, which is seaweed, and make upihi, which is a delicacy in Hawaii. She did a lot of fishing and a lot of skin diving. At age 65, she was still skin diving down maybe 25 to 30 feet. And I really admired her because that's what I used to do. So I used to follow in my mom's footsteps. But she was very, very good at that. She was known as the, there was a newspaper right up on her one time about the old lady in the sea. They had a picture of her, and then they call it in a newspaper called the old lady in the sea.
Okay. Okay, what's your name?
Mia
What's your last name?
Montgomery.
Okay. What's your birthday?
May 28th.
What year? Do you remember the year? Okay. Mia, what do you like best about Thanksgiving?
It's fun and I like it.
Okay. You like the food?
Yeah.
What's your favorite food that you had tonight?
Turkey?
Turkey? Did you like the turkey?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you eat a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like Christmas?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of Christmas?
Because Santa comes and gives us presents.
Presents. Do you like the presents?
Yeah.
What kind of presents do you like?
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh?
Yeah.
How about some clothes? You like clothes?
Yeah.
And toys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Your full name
Guy Keala Montgomery,
and your date of birth?
August 3rd, 1966.
And what is today?
Today is Thanksgiving, 2008.
Besides your family, the church, and your job, what gives you the greatest joy in your life? Excluding your
Besides
family?
my family, besides church, besides work,
What gives you the greatest joy in your life?
I guess that this time in my life, it would be what Lori and I do with our halau and the music and drumming and all the things we do and we create with the halau. That's probably what I enjoy the most right now.
Now, tell me about the first time you saw your future wife. First time you saw her or met her.
Oh, wow. First time I saw Lori was at...
And what were your thoughts? Like, oh, hey, I'm going to marry her? Or
no, first time I saw Lori was at a show. I used to go on shows with Dad all the time, and we used to do shows with a group. Her name was Tani Marsh and her group. And Dad would play music, and I would play drums, and I would do the knife, and they would hire us to go do shows. And I remember seeing Lori there. And you have to understand, Lori and I are almost 4 years difference in age. So I was probably 15 and she was 19. And when I first saw her, I always had my eye on her. I thought, wow, that's just one, beautiful girl right there. But I always kind of knew, well, she's much older than I am, so I kind of, laid low, I guess, if you would. But she always caught my eye, even from the first time that I saw her. But some of the best things about getting older, I think it's just seeing your family grow, things maybe I didn't really understand or appreciate as much when I was younger. Just today, there are moments, I try to find moments in every day where I just look at my kids and I just appreciate the stage that they're in right now, because I've realized soon enough they're not going to be that young anymore. They're going to grow older, and those moments are going to be gone. And so I try to appreciate those moments.
Okay, state your full name and your date of birth.
Antoinette Marie Yvonne Montgomery.
And your date of birth?
I was born 100 years ago, May 11th, 1937.
Tell me about the first time that you met Dad, if you remember that long ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Tell me about it.
I met him at a park on Wilshire Boulevard, and I had gone over there with some friends, and he was playing volleyball. And so we sat around watching him play volleyball, and I met him, and then I saw him a few weeks later at a nightclub where Pua Alameda and his wife were entertaining, and he happened to be there. And that's how it all started. And I fell in love with him first time I saw him. I probably should have put more time into education, and probably should have spent more time with my family when I was teaching and dancing and putting all of my efforts into entertaining, because I loved it so much. But other than that, I think I'm very happy. I have a wonderful family. I have a good life. All of my kids are doing well, and my husband is doing a great job, and he's a wonderful man. So no, I don't really have any regrets.
Birth.
I am Michael Kiala Montgomery, born October 25th, 1988.
And what is today?
Today is November, 27th?
Okay.
November 27th,
We'll go with
2008,
that.
Thanksgiving, 2008.
And where are we?
We're at Papa and Grandma's house.
Okay. You are how old? You 20?
I just turned 20 last month, yeah.
You turned 20 last month. Okay. What is the thing in life, at this point in your life, that gives you the greatest joy?
Greatest joy.
It
Should I
could
go
be any-
cliche and be family and friends?
Okay.
More specifically, like me?
As specific as you want to be.
Going to school and realizing that I'm just starting my life, Like I have my whole life, career, family, just everyday stuff that people take for granted sometimes.
Did you vote for Obama or McCain? if you care to reveal
I did.
that.
This was the first time I could vote for
And-
president, and I did, and I voted for Obama.
You voted for Obama, and tell us why.
Because I think he represents change. He's just different, and yeah. And plus, I didn't like the way McCain handled his campaign. A little dirty towards the other side. So
Okay. Okay, your full name and your date of birth.
My full name is Lori Leigh Montgomery. Date of birth is 1/7/63.
Why do you laugh?
It's a long time ago.
And what is today?
Today is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving
Personally.
is personally all about tradition, all about kind of repeating those same things over and over that you think you're tired of, but then when you have kids, you realize that they bring a lot of meaning. For example, tonight, your dad showed Michael, how to carve a turkey. And I thought that was really cool because he's never carved a turkey before. And I know that it may not mean a lot to Michael now, but later on, I know he'll remember that.
Do you remember the first time you met Guy? Describe the first time that you met him.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
saw him. If it's,
Saw him. Okay, the first time I saw him, I didn't think he was as young as he was, and I thought he was really cute and good looking. And I remember it was at a Jewish wedding show in Westwood, and he was doing the fire knife dance, and I was there with another group, and we were there to perform. I was there with a girlfriend, we were supposed to dance. And I saw him, and there was just this feeling I had about him, not just because I thought he was really cute, but because there's something special about him. And that's the first time I saw Guy.
Oh, it's very quiet, very quiet, and she was very disciplined, and she was very caring for her children, and she would always let us make our own, decide on what we want to do, and so that, but she taught us how to take care of herself, and taught us how to cook and iron our own clothes and wash clothes and all that stuff that, as a child. Okay.
excluding your birth.
Alright, Joshua Ikaika Montgomery. I was born August 15th, 1990.
And you are how old?
I'm 18.
So you just turned 18 a couple months ago,
Yeah,
right?
a few months ago.
So, what's the difference between being an 18 and an adult and being 17 and not an adult? How would you...
Well, I
what
mean,
is-
I always knew like being an adult would be different, but I didn't really expect it to come like this fast, I've been through a lot of stuff, just hard, like accountability pretty much,
In the 18 years that you've been on this earth, do you have any regrets? Something that you should have done that you didn't do? Something that you did that you shouldn't have done? Is there anything that... Would you change anything?
Well, I mean, I don't like toot my own horn or anything, but I think I'm a pretty smart person. I just think in high school I didn't try hard enough.
Okay.
And I think I could have gone to I'm going to junior college right now, but I think I could have gone to a pretty good university if I really tried. And I don't think I tried as hard as I could. And I mean, I can still go to university, take junior college for a few years and go over there, but I just kind of wish that I'd be in college right now. That's pretty much it.
Dance and entertainment has been a huge part of your life, all of your life. Tell me what was the thing that inspired you to start to dance? What, did you see someone? Did you meet someone? Did you read it in a book? What started you
Well,
dancing?
Just watching my dad and Uncle Freddie and Uncle Al play music and have rehearsals at the house, and entertainers would come in, and I'd just sit there and watch them with great big eyes. I was so impressed. And every time I saw any kind of dancing, I was right in front of that TV, or my eyes would go right to the show while everybody else was bored and didn't want to watch it. And the Lord gave me a talent that I've done a lot with, and it's made me very, very happy. Haven't gotten rich with it, haven't made tons of money, but it's brought my family close together, and it's really brought a lot of success as far as our family is concerned, and a lot of happiness.
What's the best thing about your dad?
He's very nice.
He's very nice?
Yeah.
Does he read you stories?
Yeah.
Does he tuck you in at night and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And your mom, what do you like about your mom?
She's very nice and she always takes care of me.
She takes care of you. You think she's pretty? Is she pretty?
Yeah.
Yes. And what about Michael? Tell me.
He's very funny.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Funny. Does he make jokes?
Yeah.
Okay. Does he help you with
Yeah.
homework and stuff? And okay. How about Josh?
Yeah.
What do you like about Josh?
He always be nice to me.
He's nice to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dana.
She's very nice and she always takes care of me too.
Is she like your best friend?
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite subject?
Math.
Math.
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
Are you good at it?
Yes.
Oh, and who's your favorite teacher?
Mrs. Moss.
Mrs. Moss.
Yeah.
Is she a nice lady?
Yes.
Wow. And so you're in the 3rd grade or the 4th grade?
I'm in 3rd grade.
3rd grade. Do you have a lot of students in your class?
Yeah, a lot of them.
It's a big class?
Very big class, yeah.
Now, does your mom take you to school every day, or do you take...
Well, she has to go to work really early, so so my dad takes me to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what's the best part of school every day? What do you like about school?
It's very fun, and I like to play on the playground with my friends.
And do you take your lunch to school, or do you buy your lunch there?
Violence.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. Do they have mac and cheese all the time?
Yeah.
What else do they have?
They have hamburgers.
Do you like to eat the hamburgers?
Yeah.
What about hot dogs?
Yeah.
How about pizza?
Yes.
And then, do they have sodas, or do they have juice? And
they
milk.
have milk.
They have milk, okay.
Yeah.
Do you drink milk, or do you...
Yeah. I drink milk.
Would you rather have a soda or have a milk?
Milk.
Oh, okay. Really? Oh, okay. You don't like the soda?
No.
It's too sweet.
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever have salad?
Yes.
You eat salad at school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Grandma will be happy because she likes it when everyone eats salad.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you're 9 years old. It's Thanksgiving. And tell me, if you can, tell me what you like most about your family.
They're all very nice and they're all funny.
They're all friendly.
And they all make jokes.
They all make jokes.
Yeah.
Do you like to dance too?
Yeah.
Now, when you go with your mom to the studio or you go with your dad to the studio, do you like to join the girls and dance?
Yeah.
And do you like the music?
Yeah.
Do you sing with the music?
No.
No? You don't sing with... Because Grandma, she tells me that you know all the words and you sing the songs and you're really good at it. Sometimes maybe?
Yeah, sometimes maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us what is your favorite thing in the whole world? Food, school, church, family. What's your favorite thing?
Church.
Church.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about church?
It's very fun there at church.
You have a lot of friends in church? State your full name and your date of birth.
Adam Mopatiasu. I was born August 25th, 1986.
And you are how old?
22 years old.
And what is today?
Today's Thanksgiving,
What year is it?
2008.
2008. So you're 21. 22. Okay. In your 22 years, what one thing has brought you the greatest joy in your life? Family, sports, friends, food, what?
Gotta be family.
What's the best thing about your dad? What's the worst thing about your dad?
My dad's his primary responsibility. He's always thinking about the family as a whole. Thinking about the family first and our well-being. And the worst thing about him, he worries about us more than himself. So he's always just kind of lagging on his well-being.
His well-being. Tell me about your mom. What kind of mom is she?
The world's greatest.
How so?
Kind of same as my dad. She's just puts the family first, always thinking about the kids rather than herself.
Do you think she's too strict? Do you think she's too lenient?
I think she's got it
Just right? Just right. Okay. What does Thanksgiving mean to you? What does it mean?
Big dinner, then sleeping on the couch afterward. Just family time.
What are the fondest memories that you have of Thanksgivings in the past? What are some of the memories that you have?
Can't really remember too many. It's just a big food coma afterward. Amnesia.
That's a fond memory, is it not?
It is.
The food comas.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to even think about the Navy SEALs?
I've always wanted to do it, and ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be like special forces, like an Army Ranger, Force Recon or something. And when I started fighting MMA when I was 18, I had a couple of friends or training partners who were ex-Navy SEALs, and that's kind of the branch I wanted to fall into. After they kind of explained what they did, what their objectives were. And
Do you see yourself as a lifelong member of the armed forces, as a Navy SEAL all your life, or in the Navy being, or do you see yourself eventually getting out of the services? And
I'm gonna get out because there wouldn't be any time to have a family of my own, really.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be gone 11 months out of the year.
Tell us what your feelings about your children.
Well, you know what? All three of them are really, really good kids. They're well adjusted. They've made good lives for themselves. You, Greg, were a live wire when you were a little kid and got into a little trouble here and there, a little on the hyper side. But you mellowed out in years to come, and you really fulfilled a lot of things that you wanted to do with music. Become a very good musician, songwriter, so you did a lot with it and you really enjoyed it. Yvonne, she really wanted to get married and have a dozen kids, and she had 6, and she loves that. You know, that's exactly what she wanted to do, and that's what she's doing. And she was very, very close to the Lord, close to church. And one thing that really impressed me about her is the way she has scripture readings every morning. She gathers all the kids. They're half asleep. She sprinkles a little water on their face to wake them up. But I know they'll always remember that. And she's very strong-willed, teaching her kids correct principles and encouraging them to go to church even after they're out of school, which isn't easy sometimes. And Guy is the real easygoing one. He's more like his dad. Every day he reminds me more and more of Dad. And he's got a great family, 2 boys and 2 girls, and they're all beautiful kids. They're well-mannered, well-adjusted, and each one has their own strengths and weaknesses, and all 3 of them are very great kids, and I love them very much.
Well,
Was it at a show or a club? Or
it was at a nightclub. I mean, I used to go with some friends. I mean, I used to have a few drinks with my friends every now and then. I mean, but nothing, just to be social. I got into this nightclub with my friends, and we were playing Hawaiian music. And I think that night I had a little bit too much, and Mom came in with my best friend. My best friend was. His girlfriend was my wife's best friend. So it was my wife's best friend and then my best friend. They came in together, so we kind of hung out in the nightclub.
Where was
It
it?
was at the Ginza. I remember it's a Ginza bar in J-Town at that time. J-Town is on 2nd Street
Los Angeles.
in LA. Now it's known as Little Tokyo. And yeah, she asked me if I wanted to dance with her, and I said, well, I wasn't, that swift. I said, oh, okay, so I did. And after the night was over and everything, I never really thought too much about it. But every Sunday we used to go down to the park at the Lafayette Park in Los Angeles, and all the Hawaiian island people would hang out at Lafayette Park, and they would go down and play baseball or football or volleyball. Volleyball was a big thing, and I used to love to play volleyball. So I used to go down there every Sunday, and so that particular Sunday, I went down there, and then who should show up but,
Mom.
your mom or my wife, and then we started to go out together. So we dated for 2 years before we got married. So we went on the road playing music and dancing, and we had a good, in fact, I told my wife the other day that since we celebrated our 50th, we've had a good life, and we're really good.
As far as being a part of the group in Lake Polynesia, what's the best part of that, of being part of that group, other than just like the friends?
I think it's maybe because like I don't know, my family does it, so
Okay.
it's like around me all the time, and I just love to dance.
Okay.
So
Tell me about your dad. How would you describe your dad? If someone asked you, hey, tell me about your dad.
not serious, always making jokes.
Your dad's always making, okay.
Let's see. He never puts anybody down.
Mm-hmm.
He is very patient with you, caring of course, and loves me very much.
Okay. And have you ever seen your dad lose his temper? Get mad? No.
Never.
Okay. Tell me about your mom.
My mom, okay. My mom is very dedicated, so whenever she does something, she puts her heart into it.
Okay.
She cares about all her children, and she's a great mom.
Sorry, she's getting another call.
Just let me turn my
She's
phone off.
so popular today.
Just let me turn it off. There you go. All right.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when someone says, hey, describe your dad?
Smart. Like, I mean, a lot of times he always thinks he's right. Like, no matter what, he always thinks he's right. But most of the time he is right. I mean, yeah. There's occasional times when I just like, what are you talking about? But most of the times he knows what's best for us and his family.
What do you think is the best thing about your dad? And the worst thing?
Best thing, I really like his patience. He's a really patient person. And
What's the worst thing about him?
probably his stubbornness. He always thinks he's right, and I mean, like, it's cool because most of the time he is right, but sometimes it just, it'd be nice for him to say I'm sorry every now and then, or to admit he's wrong sometimes. Best thing, probably like how caring she is. Just like, anytime I'm hurt or something went wrong, she's the first one there to make sure it's all better. Even though I'm 18 now, like, I can push her away sometimes, but I appreciate it, just the fact that she's always there. And worst thing, probably, she's not gonna see this, is she? Yeah, okay, well, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Speak your mind, John.
Alright, worst thing.
You're an adult now, speak
Got
your
it.
mind.
Worst thing, probably her impatience, kind of opposite of my dad. Which I think is like the funny thing between them, is like,
Kind of opposite.
I think they're the exact opposites. Which, I mean, people say all opposites attract, right? And I think they're like exact opposites, which I think is really funny, because when they get in little arguments, and like,
That's the first time I ever heard that, actually, about your mom and dad.
yeah, I mean, my dad's kind of like the patient doesn't really show a lot of emotion type of person. My mom's the exact opposite. She shows all the emotion in the world, but she's not the most patient person.
Was it a certain event in your life, or was it just a whole series of events? Is it?
Well, I've always gone to church. I was a strong Catholic, but there was just something about the Mormon faith that pulled me in.
What specifically was it, if you can remember? Was there one particular doctrine or one particular talk or something that did it to you?
I remember going to Fast and Testimony, and I was sitting there in Fast and Testimony, and they were passing the sacrament, and I thought, you know what, they never passed a sacrament like this in a Catholic church. And so I asked the Lord, I said, is this really you? And what do I believe? Which is the right? And as I sat in church, I just opened my scriptures and it fell open to John. And right there in red print was, I am the bread of life. And he answered my question, you know. So I knew he was talking straight to me. And it's like you hear people say, the Lord answered my questions, but you could feel that burning in your chest, and you just know that it's right. And so that was one of the biggest things. And of course, the church is, I can't say enough good about it, because it's a wonderful church. They're well organized. The Lord is definitely the head of the church. He's always been in my life. I haven't been the greatest member. I have faults just like everybody else, but yeah, I love the LDS Church.
What about music really gives you pleasure?
Pleasure. Well, just music in general, and it does kind of bug me when people, like you hear about people who just hate music now. They just don't like it at all. And I think you gotta be more open. I mean, it's like, it's just different. That's all it is. And like back, you know, like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it was really different and much better, in my opinion, but it was cool because it was new. And it's just not as new anymore, so it's hard, you can't replicate like stuff like the Beatles and what they did, because they were the first, they pioneered it. So like right now, you got a lot of good indie stuff, like indie movement, like alternative rock, stuff like that, that's just more like individual based. You have a lot of bands that can produce themselves, so they don't need like a big record label.
How many notes are in the musical scale?
How many notes?
Yes.
A, B, C, D, E, F, 7? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7. Love guitar, awesome instrument, but I wish I never quit piano lessons. You watch someone play piano and it's like a whole new world. It's like Aladdin, it's a whole new world. No, but I really wish I would have stuck with piano, because I'm actually trying to pick it up. I found a chord book in my house, so I'm trying to, like, I learned some Beatles songs, a Journey song, but I wish I would have had that and kept it with piano lessons.
Do you have any regrets in your 40 some odd years that you've been on this earth? Or is there anything that you've regretted in your past that you shouldn't have done that you did, or that you should have done that you didn't?
Okay, loaded question. You know, I think what I've learned, and that what I wish I would have learned sooner, is that I want to take more time to laugh a little bit more each day, not to, you know, to fight battles that just aren't worth fighting, and to just enjoy every day. And I wish I would have learned this when I was in my 20s, but oh well, I didn't. So now I can hopefully pass that on to my kids. I just told my son today, you know, we're talking about someone who had passed away, and I said, that's why, you know, you have to laugh every day, and to make sure that you make the most of every day, because you never know what could happen. And you know, people would tell me that when you're younger, and there does absolutely nothing to you. But as a mom, when you're older, you know, I think if anything, as far as regrets go, I wish I would have done that sooner. So.
Up until a few years ago, the best thing about working at Century High School was that I considered that working with the neediest of kids. not only do I work with special ed kids that have disabilities, but I work in a fairly low income area where the kids don't have a lot of help and resources. So I feel good going to work there as opposed to any other schools because I feel like I can make the most difference there. But probably about 3-4 years ago, that kind of changed because as my own daughter began to have difficulties in school, I saw my job as not only helping students that at the high school, but a way of helping my own daughter. So that brings me a lot of satisfaction. It's hard to say just one, but it would definitely be my family. And specifically, I think one of the greatest joys I have had is being married to my wife Lori now for 21 years, and to see the growth that we have gone through individually and together as a couple, and going through raising children, having careers, trying to provide for our family, doing all those things that married couples do. That has been just, to me, at this point in my life, one of the greatest joys is to see how our relationship has evolved and developed.
How do you feel about global warming? Do you think it's a theory or do you think it's a fact? Do you think that the ice cap is melting because of our...
I don't know, because I was actually watching a show last week, and I'm taking an anthropology class, and we go through different time periods, and there's been historical evidence of climate changes happening all over history, and whether or not it's man caused this time or if it's a natural occurrence, I don't know. I don't think we have enough proof because we've only been taking human records, human activity in the environment for 100 years or so. I don't think that's enough evidence to make a clear theory or hypothesis on anything.
Well, I think number one, the first accomplishment that I did was to overcome my handicap, to readjust my life according to my handicap, and it was a big struggle for me, but I just overcome all that handicap that I had. I just had to readjust, and I had to put my mind to it that I'm not going to let this handicap tie me down in any way. So my next accomplishment is that when I met your mom and got married and had the children, and even though I didn't have that great college education or anything like that, but I worked hard to support my family and make sure that they can get the best I can give them, and accomplish what I think I accomplished by example to my children, so that they can follow my example. I never taught them too many things, but by example I taught them many things, and to me those things are the accomplishment great accomplishment for me, overcoming my handicap and being able to afford and raise a family.
So when you get older, what would you like to be doing for a living? What would you like to have as a job? What would be the job that you would really love career that would you really love to
I've
do?
always loved, I have two things. I'd either want to be a pediatrician because I love kids, or I also love animals, so I'd want to be a vet.
Oh, okay. And why?
Well, mostly because kids, a pediatrician mostly because, I love kids, and I just, I hate when they're, hurt or when they don't feel very well. And then a veterinarian because, I've always loved animals, but ever since I started riding horses, or I did ride horses, I've always, seen how, I just loved it, because I had to take care of my horse when I rode him, so I got so fond of animals, and I just love animals, so.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? You're 18. Now you're 28. Where do you see yourself What do you be doing? What's going on in your life?
Well, hopefully I'd like to transfer to USC. That's like my school of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get into a sports management program. And I'd like to either, LA or San Diego or San Francisco, just move into some big city. And I'd like to become a sports agent. And, just live in the city.
Now, what attracts you to that?
I love sports. And I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about sports. I think I have the kind of eye where I know when someone's going to be good at something. And I kind of always thought I have that kind of premonition. I know when someone is the right fit for something. So I think that's kind of what I'd like to do.
Any specific sport or just all sports?
Pretty much all sports. I mean, I'm more like football, hockey, or not football, baseball, basketball. Don't really know too much about hockey and stuff. I mean, I know some stuff, so pretty much any sport.
What gives you the greatest joy? What single thing gives you the greatest joy in your life today?
Just being with family. That's one of my greatest joys. That we're fortunate to be close to every one of them, and we're very fortunate to be around them a lot. And I think being a church member and being introduced to the gospel, that's a very, very important thing in my life. And when I really don't want anything else, I think sure I could achieve a lot more, but probably getting too old to try to achieve anything else. Well, I think my family is the biggest thing. And my husband, my children.
Would you like to have a family someday?
Eventually.
Is it how important is that to you? On a scale of 1 to 10?
3.
3. You think it'll be more important in 10 years?
Yeah.
It'll then not be a 3. It'll be a
10.
10. Okay. What is Christmas?
Christmas is when you get a big tree and Santa comes and he comes into our house and brings our presents into our house and he gathers around the tree and then we open our presents.
And whose birthday is it on Christmas Day? Whose birthday is that?
Forgot. Is it young? No.
Jesus' birthday? Is it Jesus' birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Do you want to tell anybody anything about yourself? What do you want to tell us about you? That are you friendly and?
Yeah, I'm very friendly and I'm very nice.
Very nice. And are you pretty and smart?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, do you have a boyfriend now? No boyfriend? Okay. All right. And what's your favorite food? Your favorite food?
Tacos.
Tacos? Tacos from Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your favorite food?
Yep.
There's a certain event in my life that as a young boy, I got hurt. And it was due to my fault because of not being obedient to my dad. And my dad used to always tell me, after school you come home and don't go out and play, because a lot of the places I play are very not could be hazardous,
Dangerous.
It could be hard, and I never did that. I always, after school, I'd come home and run away. I'd sneak out and I'd go out and play, and then when I come home in the evening, I'd get a good spanking, you know what I mean? A heavy spanking with a belt. But I did it every day because that was something I really enjoyed, but getting hurt. But after I got hurt, then I realized I was wrong. That because I was always the very athletic type. I always liked to run and play football, basketball, and all different sports. And then when I got hurt, I had to readjust my life, and that's when I became more humble and readjust my life to what I was, and being handicapped. And to me, it was a big adjustment and a big challenge, and I did very well in making that adjustment, and I wouldn't change my life and for anything. A lot of people ask me, why don't you just go down and have it fixed? I said, no, I've adjusted so well that, I just enjoy that. I just like that. But that's been a great thing to me.
Do you have any regrets in your life? Anything that you would have done that you didn't do, or anything that you've done that you wouldn't have done throughout your entire life?
No, I enjoy everything in my life. I think my life is full. I don't have any regrets. Every now and then I think about the things I used to do when I was a youth. I did a lot of fishing. I talk about fishing. I used to hike for about 7, 8, 9 miles just to go fishing. And this is in Hawaii. And I used to hike from my mom's house to my dad's house along the beach, and that's pretty close to like 20-something miles, just one way. I used to just go early in the morning, start fishing, and then end up in my dad's house, and then I wouldn't hike back, of course, but I'd spend the night there or the weekend, and then maybe either hike back again fishing I enjoyed my youth a lot. All the things I did when I was young, and things changed after I got married and family, but yeah, my whole life's been good. So.
What does Christmas mean to you?
Christmas means it's the birth of the Savior, and it's very spiritual, and it's a time that you reflect back on His birth, and then you have to include family with that, because the Savior represents family, and so you have to include family, but the great family that I have. So my kids and my grandkids now, and it's a wonderful time of the year, and I know that's what Christmas means to me. It means a lot. It means the Savior, things that are spiritual, and it means family. So.
Today, I love to teach. I've been a teacher for 15 years. I teach hula. I teach in a studio.
Which is the greater joy, hula teaching or school teaching?
Well, there's one common thread in both, and it's just being creative. Having that freedom to be creative in both areas. And I think that those careers give me a lot of freedom to do that. And that's partly why I really love doing that, because I can really think about what it is that I like to do and then go for it. And it's a lot of fun. And sometimes things work out, with my creativity, and sometimes they don't. But or they do. That's what I like the most.
Now, speaking of your children, tell me about your 4 kids in brief, each one of them, from the oldest to the youngest.
Okay, let's see.
Something that somebody needs to know about them.
Okay.
If you're talking to someone on the street, per se.
Well, there's so much that a mom has to say about her kids. But if I had to, off the top of my head, just talk about a trait that each of my kids have. Michael, my 20-year-old, is very kind and very compassionate. Josh is very driven, and he is very goal-oriented. Dana is just sweet and has a passion to dance, and I see a lot of her grandmother in her, and I think that's awesome. And Mia has the biggest heart of anyone I know, and I know will grow up to take care of people and animals somehow. But what comes to mind first, honestly, is that my kids are good kids, and they have good hearts, and hopefully that will carry on with them when they're older.
So,
what's the best thing about your dad?
Best thing about my dad, he always he gives the most opportunity of anyone I've ever met. Like, he always gives someone a chance, no matter how bad they are, but like how many times they screw up or how many times they do something, he'll always give them a second chance. So.
And what's the worst thing about your dad?
That he gives everyone a second chance. Because it just comes with the territory that eventually someone is gonna maybe take advantage of the fact that someone is so honest and caring, so. It's not his fault. It's just it happens sometimes.
I don't know if I really thought what our life was going to be like 20 years from when we got married, but it has changed almost 180 degrees as far as I think back how we were and how I was, 21 years ago, and I look how I am now. I don't think when you're young you really understand what it means to really grow up and to learn, and so I have definitely seen a huge change in us.
You and Dad have been married for 50 years. It's going to be 51 in January.
Yeah.
Tell me about your marriage and tell me about the good times and the bad times.
Who's going to see this?
Well, who knows? But, has it...
You know what? Your father's been a great husband, a great father. He's so easy to get along with. He's very accommodating. He's been a hard worker. He's been a great provider. Everybody loves him because he's got a great personality. He's very easygoing. He's very likable. And that's probably why our marriage has lasted so long, because he's been so easy to get along with.
What's been the worst part of it? What are the worst times in your marriage, and what have been the best times in your marriage?
I think probably the last 10, 20 years have been probably the best years. The beginning of our marriage, we had a lot of struggles because we were a young couple and didn't have anything, and we had to build and save our money and buy a home and do all the things that young couples want to do, to try to help educate our kids, get them through school. And but you know what? It makes you grow as a couple. It makes you love each other even more. It makes you love your family even more. So it was worth all the struggles.
Would you change anything?
No, not really. No, not a thing.
Any last comments that we need to know about Antoinette Montgomery?
No, I think I said it all.
I think you said it all. Okay.